Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Alan Wake Blind. So, let's go onwards towards the gas station. Oh, I totally missed that guy. Not sure how was that possible, but it happened. Caution. Proceed at your own risk. Logging area ahead. Okay. And this is again about the logging area. Oh, there's one of those light-sensitive arrows. Would that point upwards? Okay, I'm pretty sure this is like an additional location, because you know it's the light-sensitive arrows point to it, which seems to indicate the taken.
They're taken.
The taken are filled with darkness. Hopefully this is not where the main plot takes me, because that might block me being able to investigate the other locations. A symbol of a flame. And lithium batteries. Okay, but what about the flame symbol? Is it just supposed to inform me of the fact that I can burn the taken? Like, I already knew that, so it's not particularly useful to me. I thought I might be able to like shoot the lock or something, but that's clearly not the case. And it seems there's nothing here besides those couple of batteries. Yeah, I can't climb this. Well, I guess I'm going. I guess overall it's still better to have additional batteries as opposed to not having additional batteries. Okay, I think this points to this still. So it's not exactly an entirely new location. Okay, I can't get through here. However, there is like a car or a wreckage of a car in the distance. Oh, there's also a couple of logs. It almost looks like a platform. Maybe I'll be able to move it later on to create a path for myself or something. Yeah, because
the staircase was broken. I had to make my way up some other way.
Right, so I guess that's where the crane would come in. Emergency. Revolver ammo. And more batteries. I guess I can't... So I can waste at least one battery, because there is always this additional one.
There was no power. There was bound to be a generator somewhere at the logging site.
Okay, I guess this way is where the wire goes. But this isn't actually, well, this isn't actually, it's like a cable support for this. It's not a power cable. Oh. Well, I guess I'm going to explore most of the logging site
I couldn't stay here. There had to be a way to get up there.
anyway.
With all this forestry equipment around, there had to be something I could use to reach the top.
Okay, maybe I can use it as a jumping platform later, because for now it doesn't seem particularly useful. Obviously I need to restore the power somehow. There's another thermos of coffee. I still don't get what the purpose of them is. But oh well. I guess maybe Alan Wake is just addicted to caffeine. Okay, I'm screwed. Not quite. Okay. Okay, this is a safe area where I can recover my health. A shotgun, okay. Interesting. I think I'll save the shotgun for like tougher enemies down the line. For now I'm doing reasonably well with just a revolver. Wake attacked by birds. Okay, so at least it goes down, it goes back, so maybe I didn't miss any pages after all, because I was scared when I saw all of those missing ones. But I guess it goes back now, like I had those two before and now I get this one, Wake attacked by birds.
I heard them before I saw them, swooping down from the sky and screeching as they came. I spun around just as the cloud was upon me. For an instant, I stared into 100 dead eyes, black pearls glittering in the darkness. I raised the flashlight and the swarm exploded like fireworks. Feathers burned, turned into ash. I couldn't hear my scream above theirs.
Okay. So I guess that foreshadows some birds attacking me, presumably, very soon. Move log lift. Well, I am... okay, so I guess it moves this way, and I'm supposed to create like a bridge, right? To be honest, it seems a little pointless to me that it's actually controlled by me, because what else can I do with it? It doesn't look like I have any other position to put it in that's reasonable apart from this. But I'm pretty sure there was a second sort of crane or something with just this kind of a log around here. So maybe I can control that as well. Okay, can't interact with this. So I guess the answer is no. This goes to the cabin on the cliff. I was there. There were some batteries there. And this is where the cable is connected, but there's no way to actually operate the crane or anything. So I guess I'm just supposed to climb this and go to the other side over here. Okay. There's a bunch of cans. Okay, I am seriously tempted to do this. But no manuscript pages or anything. There is a radio, however, so let's give it a listen.
Well, I was just outside for a breath of fresh air, and what a night. I know most of you are probably in your beds by now, but if you're still up and around, take a moment. Step outside for a spell and breathe in deep. The weather is absolutely still. The sky is crystal clear. It's like the forest is quietly breathing along with you. As you listeners know, I'm a night owl, and it's on nights like this I wish I wasn't cooped up in the studio. Makes an old man like me wish I could just roam wild. But here I am, and who'd keep you company all night long if I weren't? It looks like I'm not the only one staying up late. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Pat, it's Maurice Horton.
Hello, Maurice. What are you up to?
Well, I was just taking Toby on his walkies.
Oh, isn't it beautiful out there?
Sure, but Pat, the reason I called is that Toby heard something rustling in the undergrowth and took off after it, and I couldn't find it.
Probably a rabbit.
Sure. Toby loves rabbits.
Well, sure.
Anyway, I figured that, if anyone runs into Toby, they could grab him. My number's on his collar.
And Toby's a friendly dog?
Oh, Toby loves people. Usually he comes back, but we were pretty far from home, and it sounds like he went pretty wild there. Great dog, but he's just too dumb for his own good.
Well, Maurice, it's out there now. Hope Toby comes home soon.
Yeah, thanks, Pat.
You have a good night now.
Okay, that's kind of weirdly... that's kind of weirdly casual as far as information go. Like, I wonder if I'll find the color of the dog or something. Like, what was the reason for that dog story as far as the game's story and the lore are concerned? Again, the symbol of the flame. Another piece of ammunition for the flare gun. But I will save that for emergencies or like boss fights, if there are boss fights in this game. What does this point to? It's almost like it points up. It's a little incomplete, but I would imagine it goes like this and this. It's an arrow pointing this way, but what would it signify? Not quite sure. Okay, there's another manuscript page. Wake finds pages. I would say that has already happened a bunch of times.
At first, I kept finding the pages as if by accident. The book I couldn't remember was either a terrible and true prophecy or an act of creation that had rewritten the world. I began to hunt the pages feverishly, for they held the answer to the mystery. With it, I could save myself. With it, I could save Alice.
Okay, it's a little trippy because I keep finding pages that describe that I'm doing that. Like I've literally read a page about reading that very page, as it were. So it's kind of
The gas station was closer now, its light welcoming in the darkness.
Paul makes the best dogs in the state. Belly Burster is the best with no contest. Monster Dog is second best. The famous dog is...
Was that about hot dogs? Because at first it didn't make sense to me to refer to... Well, I guess dog breeding is making dogs in a way, but it would still be a weird turn of phrase. And one of them was called Belly Buster, which seems to refer to some kind of food, you know, that will give you an unforgettable gastric adventure, as it were. But if it was about hot dogs, then I find it... Whoa! I didn't see that second one. Okay, I'm like super dead. If this was about hot dogs, then I find it strangely hilarious, because Stacky, even though he's possessed by this evil power, he keeps repeating like advertisements for commercial products and whatnot, and I'm not sure if that's intended. Like, am I supposed to find that funny, or... Okay, I'm dead. Oh. And I actually went back quite a bit.
Well, I was just outside.
I will replay the radio because I'm not sure if it's actually significant in any way. Like maybe it counts the number of auditions I found. Actually, can I quick save? I should probably figure that out. You know, it would be easier than to quick save than to just start from... Oh, okay, I didn't want to do that. Controller, key bindings. Okay, I guess I can't quick save. This is specifically an autosave game. But I replayed the radio because maybe it counts the number of auditions I've activated or something. Same with the pages.
At first, I kept finding the pages as if by accident. The book I couldn't remember was...
Okay, let's try being a little more careful this time.
The gas station was closer now, its light welcoming in the darkness.
Paul makes the best dogs in the state. Belly Burster is the best with no contest. Monster Dog is second best. The famous dog is...
It's unclear to me which way I'm supposed to go. Like, I would say this way, because that's where the lights from the station are, right? Okay, this at least heals me a little bit. But I'm still unsure as to which is the main road and which is the... I wonder if they get killed if they enter... Oh. I guess they just straight up disappear if I stand in the safe place, and I guess they reappear afterwards. I could have sworn I saw something in the forest here before. Maybe it was one of the pages? I hope they are not respawning endlessly, because if they are, obviously it would be a huge waste of time and ammunition to keep fighting them. This game's visuals are kind of overwhelming to me at times. It's really difficult for me to find my way in the mist, which I'm pretty sure is kind of at least partially intended. Well, wait, is this the way I'm supposed to go? It did go somewhere, but first of all, there is a manuscript page for me to read. TV in the gas station.
I stepped into the gas station's garage. It was dark and quiet. The place was a mess. It looked like someone trashed the place, or that there'd been some kind of fight. Light spilled into the room through an open door at the back, and I made my way toward it. Without any warning, I was blinded by a bright light. An old portable TV on the shelf had come alive by itself. Impossibly, I could see myself on the screen, talking like a madman.
Okay. So I guess this is a way towards the gas station, which is kind of annoying, because it means that the second path was actually potentially optional. But I'm not sure if I want to go all the way back. Do I? I guess I will, just to be sure. I'm going to speed it up if there's nothing. Because I could have sworn there was an alternate way to go through here, but I guess that might end up in a river. Let me just check that to be sure. Oh, I guess it does end in the river. So that was pointless, and I was supposed to go where I went the entire time. Oh, safe haven, okay. No shit, that's not particularly helpful. For a second there I was kind of enthusiastic, because I thought I found a secret message that I didn't find before, but it isn't particularly, you know, enlightening or anything. So which way again? Like there was like a cliff that we had to go onto. I'm pretty sure they must be programmed to appear behind me. specifically, you know, for it to be more... Okay, that's not this way, is it? I'm lost. I've said that once already. This game's visuals are kind of trippy, and it's very difficult for me to orientate myself. Like, I'm notoriously bad at finding my way in real life as well as in games, but even in games that have clear direction, you know, indicated by the environment, this game clearly doesn't. And I understand that's part of the aesthetic. Like, you're supposed to feel lost in those dark woods, because that's exactly how a nightmare would feel. But it's still a little bit frustrating. Okay, I'm pretty sure at this point he's supposed to be comedic. Like, he's talking about never touching a salad because he's more of a meat guy? Like, come on. Not that I don't agree, because I do. I just feel like that's a little bit cheeky. Okay, can't really interact with this. Caution, proceed at your own risk, logging area ahead. Okay, there's three of them. It might be a good moment to use... Frick. This. Might have been a bit of a waste, but it worked out alright. Now, if I hoard those supplies forever, it might end up... the game might end up, you know, finishing without me even properly utilizing them, which would be kind of annoying and pointless. Wake lies to the sheriff.
Cabin on Cauldron Lake? She asked. The sheriff looked at me suspiciously. The early morning light flooded through the office windows. I would probably never have gotten out of the woods alive without her help, but I couldn't tell her the truth of what I'd faced the previous night. She'd think I was lying or crazy. She'd lock me up, and she wouldn't help me find Alice.
Okay, that's a weird take. Like, first of all, you can't really lock people up just because they talk nonsense. That's a common misconception, that you can get people committed just on the basis of them talking about strange things, whereas in reality they have to present an active danger to themselves or to others. Like, just because somebody is talking about things that supposedly don't exist, such as, you know, monsters controlled by darkness or whatever, it wouldn't allow, there isn't a law that would allow the authorities to just lock somebody like that up. So that's one thing. And the other is that it's still kind of a weird take, because a shotgun. Because even if they deemed that he was crazy, they would still presumably help him look for his wife, because she's objectively missing, you know. At least I think so. Because, you know, there are two possibilities. One, he's completely crazy and she's okay, in which case it doesn't matter. And two, he's either completely crazy or not, but she is missing regardless. So I don't quite get his logic there, but oh well. Oh, the story actually calendar, can't read anything about that. The story actually mentioned the TV, so let's use that.
Science. It bestows immortality on those who advance it to elevate all of mankind. Newton, Einstein, Sagan, princes among men. But the price for such a legacy is steep indeed. In Night Springs. Tonight's episode, a quantum suicide. If our lives are already written, it would take a courageous man to change the script. Having called a press conference, Dr. Barclay Colvin is about to demonstrate that very courage.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I am Dr. Barclay Colvin, and I'm glad so many of you could join me here at the Moorcock Institute. Tonight, I'm going to give a practical demonstration of the many worlds interpretation. As you can see, this is a loaded 9mm pistol. It shall be part of a thought experiment. And now, a real experiment, known as a quantum suicide.
Did he say suicide? Is that a real gun? He's kidding, right?
Please, stay calm. There is no risk. Observe what occurs when I place the weapon against my own forehead. Now, you might think this round is merely a dud. Not so. Observe the flower pot. And yet, I myself cannot be harmed with this gun. With each pull of the trigger, two new realities branch off. One in which the weapon didn't fire, and one where it did. With my machine here, I have ensured that this reality is always the former. I have bestowed upon myself quantum immortality. Under no circumstances can this gun kill me.
So wait. What you're saying is that every time you pull the trigger, in another reality, you die?
Yes, of course, but that's completely trivial. There's an infinite number of things that could happen at any moment, and they always do happen somewhere. The point is, this one thing did not happen here.
You're insane, Colvin.
Insane? Insane?
Hey, was this thing supposed to be plugged in? I stumbled on it.
You fools! Gaze upon quantum immortality.
And he unplugged the machine, right? Yeah, right. Right.
Poor Dr. Colvin, felled by his own hubris or the ignorance of the masses. Perhaps he should have left the crate unopened, the decaying atom unobserved. Curiosity often kills the cat. In Night Springs.
Okay, that was weird but interesting, because it seems to me that there are two interpretations of what happened. One is that the scientist was correct, and he indeed managed to invent a thing that always ensured that he's unharmed because he dies in the other universes, and then one of the guests unplugged it, so he died because the reality kind of switched to the one where he dies. Or the other possibility is that he was insane and he was just lucky that the gun jammed the first time. But regardless, I feel like I'm not a scientist myself, and even less so a physicist, but I'm pretty sure that the multiple what is it called, multiple worlds hypothesis or something, cannot be boiled down to such a simple explanation of there being an infinite versions of you doing different things. Like, I'm pretty sure it has to do with much more complicated subjects than that. And finally, even if it did mean that, it's still kind of interesting, I feel like, on an ethical level. Like, I wonder, is it unethical to know that each time that guy, like if we assumed he was correct, each time he pulled the trigger, he theoretically, well, actually, he practically killed another version of himself somewhere in the universe. But if there are really an infinite amount of them, then I guess it doesn't happen. I mean, it doesn't matter, because infinite is infinite, literally. But on the other hand, I feel it kind of does. Like, each of those people in those different universes, if we assume they exist, they have a capacity for suffering, and their loved ones, you know, again, multiplied times infinity, also have a capacity for suffering. So I feel like it's still immoral to do that, especially because he was doing that just for an experiment of sorts. So it's not like he was gaining any significant benefit from that. But I'm presumably overthinking that, as I do with most everything. Okay, this opened the gate, right? Right. But this episode has been long enough, so I'm going to end it here. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!